The disc of a torsional pendulum has a moment of inertia of 600 kg centimeter square, and it is immersed in a viscous fluid. The brass shaft attached to it is of 10 centimeter diameter and 40 centimeter long. When the pendulum is vibrating, the observed amplitudes on the same side of the rest position for successive cycles are 9 degrees, 6 degrees, and 4 degrees. Meaning they have just vibrated this, or they have given initial twist for the disc and left it. So in the first cycle, the displacement was 9 degrees, and in the second cycle, the displacement was 6, and in the third cycle, the displacement was 4. 9, 6, and 4. Okay. So what is the so we need to find out the logarithmic decrement, damping torque at unit velocity, and the periodic time of vibration. And what would be the frequency if the disc is removed from the viscous fluid? Okay? If there is no viscous damping, what will be the next frequency? So we need to find all this. So for that, to find the logarithmic decrement, we have an equation that is delta is equal to natural log of xa by xb, or theta a by theta b, that is equal to ln of theta 1 by theta 2, that is 0.405. That is the logarithmic decrement. And next question is, we need to find out the damping torque per unit velocity. The damping torque per unit velocity is nothing but, we need to find out the value of c. So we need to find the value of c. And we know that zeta is equal to c by cc, or c is equal to zeta times cc, and cc is 2 root km. And since it is a rotating system, k is replaced by kt and m is replaced by mass moment of inertia j. So therefore c is equal to 2 times zeta root of kt j. So here we know the value, we need to know the value, all these values. And we have one more equation for delta, that is logarithmic decrement, that is equal to 2 pi zeta by root of 1 minus zeta square. So since we know the value of delta and zeta is the only unknown, so on solving this, we got the value of zeta as 0.64. And now we need to know the value of kt. So kt is the torsional stiffness, that is torque per unit twist. Okay. So here we know the torsion equation, mt by j is equal to tau by r, that is equal to g theta by l. So consider the first and last term, that is mt by j is equal to g theta by l. And we can rearrange this, that is mt by theta, that is torque per unit angular displacement, is known as the torsional stiffness. So mt by theta can be written as kt, and that is equal to g j by l. Okay, we are just interchanging the position of j and theta. So kt is g j by l. So what is the value of g? What is the value of g? What is the value of g?
4.4.
4.4 into 10 power 10 Newton per meter square. Okay, so it is 4.4 into 10 power 10 Newton per meter square. So this you need to keep in mind. Okay, and that multiplied by j, and that divided by l. Okay, so what is j and l here?
J is moment of inertia.
What moment of inertia?
Polar moment of
what?
inertia.
Polar.
Polar moment of inertia.
Polar moment of inertia, and that is equal to pi d to the power of 4 by
32.
32. Okay, that is equal to pi into what is the diameter? Diameter of the brass shaft is 10 centimeter. So we need to convert this 10 and 40 into meters, because we have this g in terms of Newton per meter square. So 10 centimeter is 0.1 meter. Okay, so pi into 0.1 to the power of 4 by 32. So what is the answer? What is the answer? What is the answer for this?
9.8182 into 10 power minus 6.
Yeah. What is the unit?
9.82 into 10 raised to the power of 4. Sorry, not meter to the power of 4.
Meter?
So unit is meter to the power for polar moment of inertia.
Then, and what is L? L is 40 centimeter. That is equal to 0.4 meter. So KT that is equal to KT that is equal to MT by theta that is equal to G theta by L that is equal to G 4.4 into 10 power 10. Sorry, this is G J by L. Okay, that multiplied by 9.81 into 10 power minus 6 that divided by 0.4. That is the torsional stiffness. So the answer is what is the answer?
Ten point one.
10.7
10.791.
into 10 power 5.
355.
So 1.08 into 10 power 6. What is the unit?
Newton meter per radians.
Meter per radian. Okay. So this is KT. So we know that T is equal to 2 zeta KT J and zeta is 0.064 and KT is 1.08 into 10 power 6. And what is J? What is J here? What is this J? Is it polar moment of inertia? Is it polar moment of inertia or mass moment of inertia or area moment of inertia? What it is?
J is polar moment of inertia.
No. See, here the J is polar moment of inertia, that is in torsion equation. But here K is the stiffness and M is the mass in case of linear vibration. Okay, whereas in torsion vibration, it is replaced by KT, that is torsional stiffness, and M is replaced by J, that is mass moment of inertia. Mass moment of inertia, that is how much?
600 kg centimeter.
600 kg centimeter square. Okay, 600 kg centimeter square. So I need to convert this centimeter square into meters.
Six hundred into 10 to the power of 4 into no sir. 600 10 to the power of minus 4 into kg per meter square.
600 into 10 power
Into 10 raised to minus 4. Minus 4.
minus 4 kg meter square.
Meter
So
square.
therefore, I can write as 0.06 kg meter square. Okay. Therefore, C is equal to 2 times 0.64 that multiplied by root of 1.08 into 10 power 6 that multiplied by 0.06 into 0.06. So what is the value of C?
$325.83.
3.
25.83.
What is the value of zeta? Zeta is 0.064. So zeta is 0.064. So it is 320.
32.58.
32.58. What is the unit?
3 5 sir. 583.
What is the unit? What is the unit?
Newton second per meter.
Newton by meter per second.
There is no second here. ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ವಾ? Okay, next, what is the third one? The periodic time of vibration. So, periodic time of vibration. The time period or it is known as time period, it is represented by tau. Okay, periodic time is represented by tau. That is equal to inverse of frequency in terms of hertz. So get it in terms of seconds. Here, this F is, it should be Fn or Fd. Is it Fn? Is it Fd or Fn? Fd is the damped natural frequency. And this is undamped natural frequency. So this should be Fd. Okay. And Fd is equal to 1 by 2 pi omega d. Therefore, Tau is equal to inverse of this, that is 2 pi by omega d. And then equal to 2 pi by what is omega d? It is root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. Is it clear? Any doubt? So this omega d is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. This we got while deriving an expression for the displacement for underdamped natural frequency, underdamped vibrating system. Okay. So for this, we need to know omega n. So what is omega n? Omega n is
Natural.
natural frequency, that is equal to root of
K by M.
root of k by m is for linear system, and for rotary system it is kt by j. J is mass moment of inertia. That is equal to root of what is kt? Kt is 1.08 into 10 power 6. So 1.08 into 10 power 6, that divided by 0.06. That is the natural frequency, omega n, undamped natural frequency. What is the answer? What is the answer here?
4242.64.
Okay, 4242. What is the
0.6.
unit? Okay, what is the unit?
Hertz.
No, omega n is radians per second, and Fn is hertz. Okay.
Radians.
Therefore, omega d is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square omega n, that is equal to root of 1 minus 0.064 whole square, that multiplied by 4242. So it is 4233 radians per second. That is the damped natural frequency. Therefore, time period tau is equal to 2 pi by omega d, that is equal to 2 pi by 4233. So the answer is that is 0.00148 seconds. Okay, so that is the answer for the third question, that is the periodic time of vibration. And the last one is, what would be the frequency if the disk is removed from the viscous fluid? That is, what is the undamped natural frequency? undamped natural frequency, that is omega n, that is equal to 4242 radians per second, and according to Fn, it is 1 by 2 pi times omega n, that is 4242 divided by 2 pi. That is 675 hertz. Okay, and what is the time period? It is inverse of natural frequency Fn, that is 1 by 675, that is equal to 0.00148 seconds. Okay, now all of you listen here. See, we are just trying to differentiate the undamped and damped vibrating system. See here, the value of Kt, that is the torsional stiffness, is equal to 1.08 into 10 power 6 meter per radian. Okay. So, what about the value of Kt in case of damped system? Is it same or different? What is the value? Is it same or different? The torsional stiffness dependent on is dependent on Gj by L, right? Torsional stiffness is nothing but torque required for unit deflection per meter length. So it is dependent on Gj by L. G is the metal property and A is the polar moment of inertia. Okay, that is dependent on the cross section, and L is the length. So the value of Kt is same in both the cases. Any doubt? The value of Kt is same in both the cases. Any doubt?
Repeat once again.
So the value of Kt, that is the torsional stiffness, is dependent on Gj by L. Okay, G is what? It is the modulus of rigidity. It is the property of the material, right? And J is the polar moment of inertia. It is dependent on the cross-sectional area or the diameter of the wire. And L is the length of the wire or the shaft. So the value of Kt is same for both undamped and damped case.
Yes.
In undamped case, there is only one spring and mass. Sorry, this is since it is a torsional vibration. There will be a spring and a disc. Okay. Whereas in case of damped system, there will be a spring and damper for this torsional system. Okay. The value of Kt is same. The value of Kt is same for both the cases. And what about the mass moment of inertia J? Mass moment of inertia, that is 0.06 kg meter square. And here also it is same, J is 0.06 kg meter square. Okay. It is the mass moment of inertia of the disk. It also won't change. Okay. What is the value of C here? What is the value of damping coefficient in case of undamped system? It is 0. There is no damping here. Whereas here, it is the value for C. That is 32.5 Newton meter per
radian.
Okay. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this 32.5 Newton meter per radian? The meaning is this damper will absorb this much of Newton force, Newton meter torque per radian of deflection. So this is the amount of torque absorbed by the damper. Okay, so that's why in case of undamped system, if you give initial displacement for the disk, the displacement versus time curve. Okay, this is theta. This is time t and this is theta. For undamped case, if you give initial displacement, then the curve will be like this. Whereas in case of damped system, because of the presence of the damper with a capacity of 32.5 Newton meter torque per radian, the displacement versus time curve will be like this, theta and this is t. Okay, here the maximum displacement is 9 degree, here it is 6 degree, and here it is 4 degree. This reduction in amplitude is because of the presence of damper. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubts, please? It is very important. You need to know this. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Now, what is the natural frequency here? What is omega d? Here, omega d is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square into omega n. And there is no, and zeta is equal to c by c. And since c is 0, it is 0. So return will become 0. So damped natural frequency is nothing but undamped natural frequency, that is equal to 4233.
4.
Okay. 4233 radians per second. Whereas in case of damped natural frequency, omega d, that is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square omega n, that is equal to 4 to
4242. 4242 radian per second.
omega d is not 4242. Omega d is 4233. This is 4233 radians per second, and this is 4242 radians per second. Okay. And what is the time period tau? Time period tau for damped case, the time period tau for damped case is 0.00148. It is 0.01148 seconds. And what about the time period in case of undamped?
Same.
It is again 0.00148. Okay, so it is 0.00148 seconds. See here, what we can say is, if there is a damper, if I provide a damper, so what is tau? What do you mean by tau? Tau is the time taken
Complete one cycle.
To complete one cycle. Okay. So this is the time period tau, right? Right, this is tau. In the same way here, this is tau. So the damper may not affect the time period. Is it clear? The damper may not affect the time period, but definitely it will affect the amplitude of the cycle. So let's say it is 9 degrees. What is the amplitude in the second cycle? In case of one damper system,
9 degrees itself.
it is 9 degrees. In the third, it is 9 degrees. But this damper will reduce the amplitude. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The damper will affect the reduction of the amplitude, not only time period. Okay, I'll tell you an example. Let us consider you know the pendulum in the clock, right? You know the pendulum in the clock, wall clock. Notidiralla?
Yes, sir.
So now assume that there is a pendulum. It is nothing but a bob or a mass is attached to a spring. Okay. Assume that initially you have given a displacement of say 60 degrees. So it is here. So this is the starting point. Starting point. Now you release this. Okay, if you release this, what happens? This will move in this direction, crosses the mean position, and it will go to the extreme position, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is position 1 and this is position 2. If this is 60 degrees, what will be this?
60.
Same.
It's also 60 degrees. Okay, so if I write the displacement versus time. Okay, the first cycle it goes to 60 degrees in the positive direction. In the same way, it goes to 60 degrees in the negative direction. Okay, the amplitude is 60 degrees. Okay, and if you leave it, it will keep on moving, and it reduces amplitude, and finally it comes to rest. Right? In the first cycle, it may be 60 degrees. In the second, it may be 59. In the third, it may be 58. Likewise, it will come to rest position, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. It will come to mean position.
Now, assume that it took 1 second. Okay, the bob took 1 second to start from initial position, go to the mean position, cross it, and go to extreme position, and come back to position number 1. Okay, it took 1 second, and then after this cycle continues, I'll write here. I'm just inverted this graph. Okay, in the first cycle it was 60 degrees. Okay, this is 60 degree amplitude, and this is 60 degrees. And in the second cycle it may be reduced to 50. Okay, 50 degrees. And in the third it may be reduced to 40. Okay, and now assume that the time taken to complete the first cycle is 1 second. So the question is, what will be the time taken to complete the second cycle?
Same, sir. 1 second.
It will be only 1 second only. It will be 1 second. The time period will not change. The amplitude may change, but the time period will not change. The time period will be constant. Okay. So in the first cycle, it took 1 second to complete 60 plus 60, 120-degree movement. And in the second cycle, it took 1 second to complete 100-degree movement. Okay. In the same way, at last, it may be 1 degree in the positive direction and 1 degree in the negative direction. It will take 1 second only. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Any doubts?
Yes, sir. It's clear. No doubt, sir.
See, we can